We are approaching periods that have never been seen before on all fronts, including at the global financial and economic levels, according to Ray Dio, who warns that we are approaching periods that have never been seen before in relation to the monetary system. The recent decision made by the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates by 50 basis points was one of the most unexpected moves that the Fed has made since 2009. For the purpose of making a significant judgment, the Federal Reserve came to this conclusion. This move has resulted in the S&P 500 index reaching a new all-time high, with the index having grown by 20% from the beginning of this year to the present. On the other hand, the question of why the Federal Reserve decided to lower the benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points in the event that it implies a recession is still relevant. At this point, the market is relatively stable. Despite the fact that there is a considerable degree of volatility, it was anticipated that there would be a major spike, and after that, everyone predicts that there will be a significant decrease. On the other hand, the most important thing that happens after that is the melting of the markets, which produces a blow-off top and sideline cash flooding in on top of the blow-off top. This is the most crucial event that takes place after that. A big reset will take place as a consequence of this, as well as a shift in the order in which the world operates. It is anticipated that the Great Rate Reset, which is what financial organizations refer to as the current period when the Federal Reserve reduces the interest rate by 0.5 basis points, will have an impact on financial markets across all sectors. This is because the Federal Reserve has recently reduced the interest rate significantly. As the market waited for Jerome Powell to present a firm position, it anticipated that there would be movements in the values of assets over the first half of the year. As a result of the decision made by the Federal Reserve to reduce interest rates, it is anticipated that growth trends for assets will emerge across the whole financial landscape. In this new playing field, preparation and execution are of the utmost significance. Planning ahead is essential. There will be a continuation of vast wealth among the elite, while others who are less fortunate will continue to fall further behind. The fundamental objective of the Great Rate Reset was to maintain the allowance so that it remained at the white level, as well as the 99 Act. However, now that the grand reset of interest rates has been put into effect, the end of an era in which interest rates are subject to change is on the horizon, as a result of the fact that interest rates in developed economies throughout the world are higher than the levels that are neutral for the SUIC. Investors are more able to rely on core fixed income to accomplish their financial aim. The long-term capital markets assumptions for 2024 predict that the economy of the United States will experience a modest slowdown. It is important to note that growth is anticipated to fall below the trend, but it will continue to be positive. With the assistance of Fed cuts that will be implemented the following year, as a result of the Big Reset, which is the recovery phase that follows a prolonged period of sideways or negative price performance across a variety of asset classes. It is anticipated that trends will act in a manner that is similar to a trend in the second half of the year 2024. The market is currently in the process of capitalizing on this opportunity. This report from Citibank emphasizes how vital it is to not miss out on this opportunity, particularly in light of the fact that this opportunity is occurring in the absence of a big economic crisis. It is currently the case that every asset class, including cryptocurrencies, is in a position to deliver outstanding returns. As part of this, the cryptocurrency market for equities, fixed income, and alternative assets is additionally included. Following an extended period of time, such as 2022, during which the performance of stocks and bonds was quite poor, the huge reset that is currently taking place in the financial markets is now taking place. As a general rule, the markets will initially recover and then rebound towards activity levels that are historically average. According to a warning that was issued by JP Morgan, a minor downturn in the economy of the United States is expected to take place in the first half of 2024 and will most likely continue for the remainder of the year. A significant number of investors are under the notion that they have already avoided the recession. A sign. Despite the fact that the economy is exhibiting signs of slowing down in the year 2025, although several asset classes are in a position to recover in a somewhat synchronized manner, it would be extremely detrimental for investors to miss out on this opportunity. The reason for this is that numerous asset types are on the verge of recovering. When it comes to the potential returns that they offer, various forms of investments, such as equity, debt, and alternative investments, each have their own unique and interconnected rationales due to the fact that they are different from one another. In order for investors to make the most of the market's potential for development, they need to change their expectations and capitalize on the assumptions that they have made. Due to the fact that a greater number of customers are not yet present in the market and are waiting to make a purchase, it is quite likely that the blow-off top will take place. It is during this time that they are hoping for larger profits that the announcement of the recession takes place, which ultimately leads to a significant decline in the remaining markets. When it comes to the global monetary system, the usage of digital technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly prevalent as the international order continues to undergo profound transformations. As opposed to the conventional reserve currency, which is the primary focus of attention, this transition is being influenced by the greater emphasis that is being placed on tokenization and financial use cases. According to the data, we are on the verge of civil and international conflict, And the year 2025-2026 is the time when the threat has reached its highest degree. This situation is expected to continue until the year 2026. In 1945, the United States of America initiated the development of a new global order, which marked the beginning of the transformation of the global order. These alterations are the outcome of the struggle for dominance, in which the parties who emerged successful created the rules. These modifications have been brought about as a result of the struggle. Gold was the commodity that was utilized as currency during that time period in history, and the United States of America possessed 50% of the gross domestic product of the entire world. At the same time that the United Nations was established in New York, Washington, and the District of Columbia, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank became the reserve currency. Three of the most major alterations that have not occurred during our lifetimes are the amount of debt, the production of new money, and the amount of money that now exists. Money's value is affected by both of these factors to varying degrees. In situations where there is a significant quantity of debt, central bankers are put in the position of having to decide whether to issue money that has lost its value or to pay it back with genuine payment. In the event that they repay the debt using hard currency, it will become challenging, which would result in complications regarding debt as well as inflation. According to Chris, there are three key dynamics that are now at play in the situation. First, there is a significant wealth and values split that exists concurrently with a financial situation that has led to populism and the disenfranchisement of the voting populace. Somebody who are disenfranchised are searching for somebody who will fight for them, not people who are willing to compromise with them. They are searching for people who are willing to fight for them without making any concessions, and they are hunting for those people. It is possible that this will result in a rift between those on the left and those on the right, with opinions growing more inflexible and none of the parties making any concessions. A substantial wealth and values gap exists at the same time as a financial problem, which has resulted in populism on both the left and the right. Together, these two factors have contributed to the rise of populism. There is a possibility that this will lead to a rift between those on the left and those on the right, with beliefs growing more inflexible and little willingness to make concessions. There is a possibility that this will result in a situation in which neither party would tolerate losing elections, which might potentially lead to an occurrence that is comparable to a civil war. As a result of the transition of the world's financial systems towards digital technology and the growth of populism, the current order of the world is on the verge of civil and international conflict. Based on the information that has been provided in this article, this is the conclusion that can be taken. In addition, it is of the utmost significance to be prepared for any potential crises that may occur, as well as to be prepared for the potential implications that may result from these changes as the world continues to undergo change. If we have a more in-depth understanding of the cycles that make up the altering global order, we will be able to handle the challenges and opportunities that are still to come in a more efficient manner. And whether or not we have made preparations for such disasters in the future, it is possible to trace the shifting order of the globe back to a variety of events that have taken place over the course of the past few years. This pattern is a complicated one. Among the most significant features of this process is the first phase, which is the creation of a great power to compete with the one that already exists. This is one of the most crucial aspects of this process. This may be seen in the United States of America's dominance in 1945, which has since been overcome by China and its allies. China and its allies have surpassed the United States of America. The second stage is characterized by the emergence of a significant power that poses a danger to the power that is already in power, such as the United States of America that is currently in power. This is demonstrated by the fact that many wars, including those that involve the use of technology, geopolitical influence, capital and economic warfare, sanctions, and armed confrontation, have escalated with increasing intensity. The order in which these conflicts have taken place is according to chronological order, beginning with a conflict over trade, followed by a conflict over technology, a conflict over geopolitical influence, and finally a conflict over money and economics. And last but not least, a contending for military superiority. The civil and international war is the fourth stage of this altering global system, and it is considered to be an additional vital aspect of this global order. The World Economic